Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another Scraptember prompt for you guys today. And today we are working with texture. So I've got a bunch of Minte chippies that I picked up, as well as a wood veneer that came with the kit that I purchased on the ship. I also have a chipboard piece from Simple Stories Coastal Vintage Coastal Collection, and then a couple pieces that are from the 49 and Market Sunburst collection. I have 3 photos here that are at Dolphin Cove, and it's like the Jamaican market or the Jamaican restaurant that they had there. I've got some decorative brads that are Simple Stories Simple Vintage Coastal Collection. These are actually real brads, you guys. I didn't know that when I first picked them out. This is the piece that I brought in for some texture. This was gifted to me by a subscriber, so thank you so much for gifting me those. And then I also have some distress oxides that I picked out based off of the board that has all of the items that like the menu for the restaurant. So that's where I got my color scheme from. From Minte, I have this Urban Jungle paper here, and I just really liked all the leaves and things. And then from P13, I have this gorgeous wood grain that is from Beyond the Sea. And so I don't know if I show you guys the other side. I do. There it is. This is quite an older collection, one of the very first ones that they came out with that I was introduced to anyways. And I just happened to have this whitewashed board, which I thought was perfect for what I wanted to do for this layout. Now, this is going to be a super quick and easy, simple layout today. I'm going to trim off my photos. Thank goodness I realized that I almost doubled up my photos. Did you guys see that? That would have been awful printing those photos. So I'm going to just trim them down. Basically, all I'm doing, I'm not even paying attention to the size of them, but I'm making sure that I don't trim off too much, but I want to trim around and take out the distractions, basically, especially around signs and things. I feel like on signs, I can trim all the way up to the frame of the sign and not feel like I'm losing anything. I'm just going off of measuring, trying to figure out which one was the biggest, so I can go ahead and chop that off and get my photo mats done. I'm going to photo mat all of them on this wood grain. And is it a waste of wood grain? Probably. But if you guys saw my wood grain stash, I could probably use a piece of wood grain on every single one of my layouts and not even make a dent in my wood grain stash. I have a problem, seriously. But wood grain goes with everything, especially my style of scrapbooking. It definitely goes along with everything. All right, so for this piece of wood grain, it was a little on the skinny side, so I had to trim up my photo just a little bit, and then get it to where it fit on the wood grain. I'm going to use this tropical leaf, or what I thought was tropical leaf design from the Minte collection as my background. I really wanted it to look busy, even though I'm not adding a lot of stuff to make it busy, right? So the background's going to help me make this layout look like I've got a lot going on. And I love when the paper helps me do most of the work. I really do. It's just one of those things where makes for a fast and simple layout. I am going to take all of my photo mats. I'm going to distress the edges of all of them and then ink the edges of all of them. One of the things that is a little rough on your supplies is doing this, is roughing up the edges and then inking the edges, because your little sponge doesn't like all that rough edge and it just creates a big old mess. But the way that it looks in the end, for me, my opinion, is it's fabulous, right? I really like it. I've tried the inking first and then roughing up the edges. That gives you a different look. It really does give you a really good look as well, but not the look I'm going for with this one. This one I wanted to create a shadow effect on the back of my for my photo, making it look like it's popped up, but it's not going to be popped up. Yes, my photo is upside down currently, but I promise I fix it because I don't have my photos where I want them on the layout anyways. So, but yes, my photo is upside down currently on my layout while I am still. But see the mess, because I'm just trashing my sponge, you guys. And once my sponge is over, once I'm done with this, I do throw out my sponge because it just falls apart and deteriorates farther, even though I'm no longer doing this exercise with my sponge. I still end up throwing it away because anytime I ink anything, the sponge just keeps wanting to fall apart. No matter how soft I am with it, no matter how delicate I am with it, it is just awful. I am going to use it one last time to ink up the edges of these round little bits. Now, I'm not sure if I was supposed to throw these pieces away. I don't know really. I took all the pieces off of the chippy I don't know, the negative part of it, the chippy base piece. I took them all off so that way I could see what I had, how many I had, yada, yada, yada. And when I came to these circles, I wasn't really sure anymore. I couldn't remember whether or not I was supposed to throw these away or, like they were a circle within a circle and these were the negatives. I don't know, but they make really good, I don't want to say rafts or anything, but they do make a really good design for, tropical layouts, because it reminds me of, handmade nets and the things like that, especially when I add the cable to it next or the twine to it. So, but first I'm going to take, and I do use Distress Oxides on all of my chippies because of the fact that it is going to allow me to blend the colors a lot better. I feel like, and this is just my opinion, when I use inks to do this, Distress inks, or any other brand of ink, I feel like they soak right into the chipboard, right into the wood grain, right into anything that I'm doing with, and don't stay on top long enough for me to have that blend. And then I get a harsh line of this was one color and that was another color and deal with it type of thing. So for this one, I definitely used all of my oxides so that way I get that stay on top, don't soak in yet feel, and I can blend all of my pieces together. So I just picked a couple pinks to do my starfish because I think it's adorable. Plus when it soaks into the chipboard, it loses some of its color and turns more peach than it does pink. But I did use pink, I'm not going to lie. And then I added a little bit of pink and some orange to one of my shells, and then some orange and yellow to another shell. And then, of course, my dolphin is that gray blue with a little bit of the teal blue underneath it. So cute little dolphin. And again, my color scheme came from the menu board that was popped up on, at the entrance to the eatery, which was really weird because you couldn't even see where the kitchen was. It was so outdoorsy. Like I didn't even know where the food came from. It was magical, right? So you sat down, you placed an order before you went and swam with the dolphins. And then you sat down and your food was magically there. We personally didn't eat there, but it was magic where the food came from. It really was. You never knew you were even in a restaurant type of deal because everything was just all outdoorsy and tropical. And it was just a great place. I really did enjoy the Dolphin Cove. I really did. So I decided to pull out my favorite twine in the whole wide world and wrap two sides of it. At first I thought I was going to do all four and do more like a life raft type of deal, or a lifesaver disc thing, a life preserver. Thank you. At first that's what I thought I was going to do, but in the end, I decided to just do two sides because I thought, well, if I tuck it in, then nobody's going to see the other, one of the sides or two of the sides, and then it was going to be kind of pointless, doing this exercise. I had a little bit left over, and I felt like one of my pieces was a little on the short side, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap a couple more wraps around just to make sure that they're both even. I don't think I use both of these pieces on my layout, but I made two just in case. It's if you're there, right? If you're going to do one, you might as well do it all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my photos back to the way I like it. Take some of this mesh looking thing. I'm going to use it as a net, so that way I can catch all of my shells and other elements that I got on. And I love adding texture to my layouts like this because then the background's really super busy, so that makes it look like it's as busy as my restaurant photo down in the bottom where I have all the tropics and all the trees and things. And so now the background is helping me portray that as well. And then of course the menu is chaotic, and got the, just got the writing everywhere. They're trying to put a whole lot of stuff on a limited space. And then when you read the Dolphin Cove sign, you've got not only the tropical flowers or not flowers, but the leaves on the sign, but then you've got some real plants actually encroaching into the sign, like I want to be a part of this too type of thing. And so I wanted to portray even more of that by having this mesh on my layout, so that way I could blend the background into the foreground and have all of my items woven in between and underneath and tucked into the mesh. And so that way it gives it that freshly caught feel, right? Like you threw out the net in the ocean and these are all the goodies that you caught and and whatnot. I love that. I decided to tuck my starfish behind the net because I felt like with everything on top of the mesh at the bottom, I really wanted the mesh at the top to be a little bit more visible, and the starfish gives me that feel and breaks away the mesh from the background paper. So I really like that as well. I am taking the prongs off. As much as I complain about faux brads, this was definitely not one of those layouts that I could have used the brads on because of how many layers I'm going through. I would have been poking a hole in my layout for no reason, because the prongs wouldn't have been able to actually reach all the way through the chipboard and the mesh and then the paper itself. So I just decided to take the prongs off of all of my, all of my brads, and just use some pop dots inside, the underneath of the brad, and then get it going on there. So that is where I am at with the brads and, the complaining of said faux brads. Actually, I was shocked when I first started taking one of the brads off the package. I was like, why isn't it coming off? And then I realized, oh, these are actually brads. Like, they're not phony baloney brads. This is cool. So anyways, I am going to go ahead and take my dolphin and cover up this boat that's on the Let's Explore chipboard as much as possible. Not that I didn't want the boat. It didn't really, have any purpose whatsoever. I just really liked the cluster. I liked the fact that it had a net, it had a ship's wheel, and it said Let's Explore. But I really wanted to add this dolphin because of the fact that we're in Dolphin Cove. And so I couldn't find a spot for it. I definitely could have flipped the dolphin and had it coming in a different direction. But, it worked really well. It went really well with the shape of this chipboard piece. So I decided to go ahead and cover up part of the boat. I'm okay if it's not really seen. And then I pulled together a chipboard and a cardstock title that says Time in the Sun. So time is chipboard and in the sun is a paper, a cardstock saying or title. So I just put it together, and now I've got Time in the Sun. And again, all of these colors are feeding off of what's on my menu photo and bringing in all those colors, because my background colors are the background of, like the food court, right? You can see the greens and you can see the browns. But I really wanted to bring in the color of the menu board and give my layout a little bit more life to it. So once I found out where I wanted all my clusters and got it all stuck down, like I said, super simple layout, you guys. Easy, quick, fast. I absolutely love it. And that is my layout for today. That's all I've got for you guys. This is the very last prompt for Scraptember. I'm so super sad, but I do look forward to the 30 days of sketches next month. Janet and I also incorporate our color craze, which we will be putting on our Facebook groups if you guys want to play along with our color combinations for the month of October. We don't do one every day, but we do a few, and they are there they'll be in our groups. Don't forget to check out the link that I have down below to see everyone else that is playing with the prompt for Scraptember for today. And thanks a lot, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.